Hi everyone, and welcome back. You may recognize this from my last video. This was the dip that I did, and this is the dried result. But after it dried, it's really too dark for the project that I want to do, so I'm going to be re-dipping that. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So I've got my foil all crinkled up and ready to go. I'm going to just put down my paints. I've sped this up really fast because we want to get to the good part, which is the dip. These paints are all mixed 3-to-1, pretty much paint and Floetrol, and thinned with a little bit of water if needed. So let's go ahead and dip this canvas so that we can do our project. So I'm going to add a little bit of white first. The titanium white is just going to give me a little bit more white back on my canvas. And then I'm also going to add some turquoise blue because I want to make sure that I have plenty of blue. And you're going to see why in just a little while when I start the project that I'm going to have to do with this. So let's go ahead and dip it. And I'm going to make sure that I squish this down really good. You see how the paint's squishing out? I've learned that if the paint's not squishing out, then it's probably not going to cover the whole canvas, and we are not going to waste this paint. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that paint. So, yes, this time I've got a really good result. It's got the colors that I want. There's a lot of blues and greens, and this is going to be perfect for the project that we're going to do today. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to add a little bit more paint. Just to make sure that I don't get a muddy result, I'm going to pull a skin off of this one. I pulled a skin last time. I loved it. So this time I have put my freezer paper and I have attached it to my canvas. This is just a spare canvas, and it's a great way to dip. So I'm going to dip this in and hopefully pull a skin for another project. So I'm going to dip it, squeeze it just like I normally would do when I'm doing a dip on a canvas. I'm doing it on the freezer paper. I'm just going to pull and see the result. Oh yeah, nice result here. I've got a corner that's kind of missing some paint, but we're just going to dab some paint on there. And these are really pretty colors. I'll have to get you a close-up of this because really nice colors on this one. And going ahead and torching that a little bit, making sure there's no bubbles, but really pretty. I like this color combo here. I like it a lot. So we're going to see what we can do with this probably on another video. And I'm going to go ahead and also do a tile. I don't waste any paint when I'm dipping. You can dip several times and it turns out great. So let's see what we have here. And voila. Here is the tile, and we're going to let that dry. I'll torch it first, and then I will put that down to dry, and I'll try to show you that at the end. Now, I'm showing you this because I want to show you I never waste my paint. So this paint is going to go right onto a silicone mat on a tray, and I'm going to make yet another skin. Now, you can put this in a cup and use it for filler for pour painting if you pour paint. So you can do that, but I almost always turn them in to skins. I don't need that much gray paint. But I definitely need skins because I'm always doing projects with skins. And since that green was pretty ugly, I'm just going to zhuzh it up a little bit with a little bit of turquoise and gold. And so it doesn't look as muddy because yes, you do tend to get a little bit muddy colors after doing a pour. But you can always use a little extra paint and make it a little bit nicer. And that way I can use bits and pieces of this in another project and it'll work out just fine. Now, on to the main event. I did want to show you the dried result from the last video. This little dip turned out so beautiful. It dried just perfect. I just had to show you, and that was my inspiration for this one. And here is the dried result from the one that I just did. So it's perfect for my project, so we can begin. We are going to be doing a skins project because you know I love my skins. And see this hodgepodge of stuck together skins? That's what I'm using. I'm not making any special skins for this. These are all just pieces that are left over, and they just kind of get stuck together if you don't put them anywhere special. And we're going to be using those to do a Peacock. Yes, I love peacocks. They're very special to me because this is my baby. I had her for 15 years. She lived with us. She wore a diaper. She was part of the family. So I absolutely adore peacocks and peahens. This is actually a peahen. This is a female. They don't have the spread of feathers. And she was just the best girl. And I'm going to cry. But anyway, love her. So we are working on a peacock today. And I am finishing up by doing a sketch that is the right size. I actually made it a little bit smaller. I just put it on my copier and reduced it by 93%, and then I took that copy and I just cut it out. Now I am tracing around it with a gold acrylic marker, which I can actually erase with water if I have any lines that are showing. This just allows me to see what I'm doing and to have a reference. Now I am going to be using diamond glaze. It's going to be in a cup or in a bottle, but it's all diamond glaze. If you know me, you know I use diamond glaze to adhere the skins to the canvas. And you can actually use this kind of skin. I show you how to make these acrylic skin transfers in another video, so you actually could use a photo. You can see the paper around it, but it is actually a photocopy that's made into a skin. So it is a double-sided skin. So if you're interested in that, please check out my video on that. I'll try to link that down below in the description box. Now I'm going to begin cutting out my skins after I've separated them because they are kind of stuck together, which skins tend to do. They are dried acrylic paint. So I just cut out a body and I use my little copied Peacock reference so that I can cut out my pieces, but I'm going to also be layering them if you've seen me work with skins before. I'm just going to apply my glue down and then I'm going to apply the skin that I just cut out, and I have turned it on the other side so that I have a lot more contrast. So here it really sticks out from the background. It's blue, but it's not the same color blues and greens that you have in the background. So I'm just pressing out the little air bubbles, being careful not to tear the skin because they do get very malleable when you add the diamond glaze. I'm just going to do some trimming. I'm going to leave that kind of loose because I'm going to come back to the neck, and I'm going to trim around all the little pieces down at the bottom so that it fits my canvas a little bit better. Once that's been trimmed, I can move on to the next piece, which is to have a little bit of a wing down here. Just a little hint that there is a wing, and so I'm just going to grab another piece, and this time I'm going to use the front side and I'm going to fit it in to get a wing. Now I do have to cut it off to match the body that I have, and then I'm just going to take my glue, and after I know that it fits, I'm going to paste it down as well. Sometimes that takes a little bit of extra measuring. I keep comparing it back to my little template that I have, and that way I can get the perfect fit. Once that's in place, I go ahead and work on the head portion. I just go ahead and cut around the template that I have, which is going to give me a good representation of a head. I think you're probably getting the gist of it now. It's a lot of cutting and pasting and a lot of trial and error until you get it right. So I'm going to work on all the little details, so I'm going to be quiet for a little while and let you see how this all comes together. Okay, so here it is. I think I'm going to stop right here. I think it's ready for some varnish, and you let me know what you think. This has been a labor of love and back breaking. My back is literally killing me, but here it is. What do you think? My stylized and very royal peacock. And here is a bonus. Here is the dry results that I did earlier. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye now.